audio is on.
Yes.
Let's go. Oh, Twitch. What are you doing?
I was also going to check, but it's my channel, so.
Oh. Let's see. Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Test is
It's
test
not
is.
mega loud, but I think it's okay.
Well,
That's
increase the
that's the
volume.
volume, isn't it?
Yes.
Increase the volume. Yes. But look how low it is.
Can increase the volume, love. Oh. Well, narcissism for the win.
I think it's good.
Yeah, let's do this. Oh.
Keep the chat here. Episode 3? Episode 4?
I think it's 4.
Episode 4 of our muscle talk.
I mean, episode 2 got lost in volume somewhere, most of
Yeah.
it, but it is episode 4.
Yeah. So now we are on episode 4. Really cool. Let's see if I can fix this. There we go. Ah, here we
You're a
are
little
again.
lost for words.
I'm a little lost for words, but it's okay. It's Sunday. It's a good day. And we missed out last weekend,
Yes.
but now we're back stronger than ever to Muscle Talk, where we talk about everything fitness and health that we want to talk about.
Because it's our show
It's
and
our
not
show.
yours.
It's our show.
Talk whatever we want to talk about.
Exactly. So today, same as last time, I think we'll start out with a little round table, what we've been up to lately. Now we don't only need to cover 1 week, we can cover 2 weeks.
Yes.
A lot to talk about, maybe. We'll see. And then we want to talk a little bit about coaching, what you can expect, or at least what we would expect.
Yes.
So, translated what you should expect from your coach if you have one. Maybe you do. Maybe you'll learn something new, something
Yes.
you should consider.
That is correct. And maybe you're like again, um, I'm like open to the idea that I might be like having very very high standards and expectations, but I also don't think that they are unreasonable. Especially for a country like Denmark where labor is so expensive, and hiring a human coach to do something for you, then I think that if you're going to be paying this like high price tag, you really want to make sure that you get the most out of your money. I think I'm not saying that you shouldn't, and I definitely agree that people like human labor should be very heavily paid, but you also should be mindful about what you're getting and can you essentially get it this is what I would be thinking. I'm like, what am I paying my money for that I cannot get anywhere else? And I really really feel like I have to pay a human to do that. So but we can talk a little bit about it. So yeah, what's been up with you except that you're more dressed than ever?
More dressed than ever. Well, it's cold, so now I'm getting a little more dressed. But lately, not so much. I did start my first mesocycle. First, what would you say? I would say my first intentional mesocycle, which is thanks to the RP app,
Mm,
which you so gracefully gifted me. Very happy. So now my trainings is gonna be more structured than ever.
yes.
I'm gonna do 6 weeks of a mesocycle. I
Yeah.
started 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I finished my last day of week 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
Really nice. So it's a whole new style of training. It's much less volume.
You just
So
finished your mini cut and like a
yeah,
very low volume and low kind of intensity training.
mm,
during your mini cut.
Yes.
So, and now you kicked into your new mesocycle of
Yeah.
6 weeks.
And the first week, I'm basically just following the hypertrophy app. So
Mm.
the first week was how do you say it? It was challenging, but nothing like I'm used to. It was 3 reps in reserve and everything.
Yeah,
This week it
it's
was
actually pretty chill. Three
yeah,
reps in reserve is,
it
as
was
I joked, with my experience is like, to me it's almost like as soon as it gets hard, stop.
yeah. Then you have about 3 left and it's about to stop it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I felt the same way. So the first week was fine. It felt like wow, 40 to 50 minutes of training. I was like,
definitely,
what's going on? I feel
definitely.
okay, but it's a little like work. So
We also talked with you a lot about, because you're a very experienced lifter, and you're definitely very used to high volume, that there is
yeah.
definitely a moment to kind of we also talked about how you want to get resensitized to lower volume
Hmm.
in order to be able to experience gains. So
Yeah.
I think it's okay, because you were used to, I think, more in the 20 plus sets per muscle group per week
Yes.
kind of end of the spectrum than what you're doing right now. And I think this is it's still giving you the results. So
Seems like it, yes. Yeah, compared to where I would might do, let's say, 9 to 10 sets of a body part, let's say chest on one day. Now I would do 4, 5 sets max
per week,
per training.
hmm
So I would end up in
half
yeah,
of half of what you would do normally.
exactly, yeah. So, but as mentioned, it's the type of training is entirely different.
Yes,
There's much bigger range of motion,
yes,
longer time on the tension as well. So
yes. Higher rep ranges, I think, also, and slower descent and full ROM. So it's also a little bit of a, yeah, different ball game in terms of style of training.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, but it's interesting. I like it so far. It feels fresh because I've always done the usual where you focus more on the amount of reps, of course, with an acceptable technique and form.
yeah.
Always been an advocate of that. So now
You've
it's
always had a very good technique, I have to say.
yeah. Thank you. It's I've never been one to focus much on weight,
Yeah,
so this also suits me even better that I don't have to push weight necessarily, but more focus on the feel
yeah,
and the time on attention. So that is really, really nice.
definitely.
And I wasn't sore in week 1. Week 2, like I did the hammies 2 days ago. They feel pretty blasted.
Mm.
My arms are a little blasted from yesterday as well. So I'm really curious what's to come. Because what the app does, it basically also sets you a target for every rep or for every set,
Whatever
sorry.
said, yeah.
Yeah, and it also gives you a target set weight. So it really pushes you while also trying to keep you within, I guess it expects you to do the target. And if you overperform, that's fine. But if you underperform, I think it will let you know that something is up
Yeah.
and you should reconsider some of your
Yes.
the factors that
And when they do they'll give you a reps in reserve, when they give you reps in reserve target, then it also says be more on the pessimistic side. So yes, if you feel like you can do a few reps extra, do that. But if you're not sure, then just do a target, just a target. So
Hmm.
basically, be a little more conservative
Yeah.
than be a little too optimistic. Um, and they
Yeah.
do, and the app does ask you, in all fairness, every time when you, I think that's worth also mentioning, and I really enjoy it. Every time when you um, start a new muscle group that you have already trained,
Mhm.
it asks you how well you recovered
Yeah.
since the last time you trained it,
Yes.
which I think is very, very nice. And it's a good way to gauge whether you can do more frequency, more volume, etc. Because if you hit legs on Monday and then you have to hit legs on Wednesday again, and you're absolutely beaten up and you're just grinding through it, perhaps you need to either revisit the volume from Monday, or you just need to give yourself a little less time
Yeah.
to, more time to heal. And again, knowing that frequency is definitely more growth promoting, then I would say that probably the correct thing to do is to overall reduce your volume on Monday so
Yeah.
you can hit it again on Wednesday, if this is your frequency plan. So I think it's really, really great, the way they've done it. I have no idea how you know, the algorithms work in terms of recommendation, but so far it's really, really, really great.
Yeah. I like it too.
Yes.
And I don't even think we have experienced the magic that much yet. Like, for example, after we finish a workout, it says stats are coming in. We don't know when the stats are coming. Does it
Yes.
require 2 full weeks of training? Or
So, yeah, I guess we'll find out soon.
yeah, as a data guy, I'm gonna enjoy that,
Yeah.
depending on what they show us, of course. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I was hoping it would already be in week 2, but yes. So I'm
Maybe it
gonna
needs a little more. I mean, week
yeah,
one is just to set, and again, I don't think that week
baseline.
one will be exactly, but it's baseline. So I don't think that they would even take week one in terms of like, because again, you're doing something, and I
Yeah,
think it's more important of like how you recover in week two from week one.
yeah,
And again, that's your second point, and then maybe you need another data point per, so meaning another week to kind of really um, kickstart the calculations properly.
yeah. True. But moving from week 1 to week 2 has been good. I've seen green numbers across the board. That's really nice.
Meaning,
That I've only maintained my numbers or improved.
yeah.
I've actually hit the targets or improved. So I've improved.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really nice, considering I've dealt with a little coughing, which is
Yeah.
mega annoying. I don't think I've been sick per se, but I think my body has been a little tired
Yeah.
at times. So I'm feeling like I'm getting slowly better. And I say that, and then my cough comes back. So let's see if it stays away this time.
Yeah.
So good stuff. How about you in the
I
last
can
2
I
weeks?
can attest to what you said. In
Hmm.
my case, I think because my mesocycle has a leg focus, and I think I will. I really, a few months ago, it was really a big priority for me to improve my upper body. And again, as a female, I think we're naturally, or
Hmm.
like at least more typically, bottom heavy. So I've always like I really wanted to improve my upper body and kind of start seeing a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of back, and so on. But now I'm like, ooh, my legs are like really liking.
Now you feel your
So
legs are small.
exactly, now my legs are small and fat, so gotta work on that. I can say that in my case, I train 5 days a week, and I train legs or glutes every day in different combos. I have to say it's very, very fine.
Yeah.
Like I do a like four the other day I did 4 sets of hamstrings and 2 sets of hamstrings and 2 sets of quads.
Yeah.
And I was toast. I can't believe that I can do 2 sets per session and be so pumped and feel like my legs are going to explode
Yeah.
anytime on a moment.
Amazing.
It's again, of course, you do have the warm up, and of course, you actually push a really high intensity set, as we said a lot, like really, really big time under tension, and so it's not it's not they're not easy sets, but it's also just 2 sets.
Yeah. Comparing this to how you used to train, because I know the viewers don't know, but we used to do a lot more sets, a lot more, and a lot of different exercises. So what has changed? Do you get more pumped now? Do you?
I think I do, but I
Yeah,
also think that my attitude towards it is completely different,
yeah,
because now I'm sitting there thinking I have 2 or 3 sets and I better make them count, you know. So it's
yeah.
just the
I see
intensity
that.
with which I approach my sets is
Hmm.
completely different,
Yes.
because and I think before it just felt like this is like I don't want to go as far as calling it a chore, but like it just felt like I have this much work to do and I better get on with it. And then I would do the sets and I'll be like, oof, okay, just another one. And it felt like I have to just complete it. And now it's way more about me trying to kind of just get the most out of it. And I'm getting insane pumps on my legs, not so much on my glutes. I have to be honest, but I think that this is me, and maybe I just need to accept that my glutes are actually not as well developed as I had thought.
Maybe.
And the mind muscle connection is not great, but it's getting better.
Yeah.
It's the same. It feels like the same journey as with my triceps. And overall, um, throughout the past year and a half of training, I have really felt a very, very good kind of mind muscle connection. And um, yeah, and I think that some more experienced lifters really underestimate the fact that is a like newbie in certain, I mean, I wouldn't call myself exactly a newbie, but like for some things, like I've never really trained triceps that focused to
No.
really get a good, a good pump or a good connection. And it takes a little bit of time to kind of build
This feel.
neuromuscular connection, and then be able to feel the muscle, get a good pump, and also be able to kind of feel how much more juice do you have in
Yeah.
you, and what you can really push in terms of rep, and what is a good weight, and you're not just moving weight just for the sake of moving weight and ticking that box and saying I've done my sets, but
Exactly.
it's like way more intentional. It's way more for the feel. It's way more for the pump and for the range of motion.
Mm.
It's way more focused on quality, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's the same thing as flexing, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like,
Just,
yeah.
I think I agree because with what you were saying, like, I think we were so volume junkies in some way looking back. We had a big ass, we had a big program, and we were thinking,
This
we
is what it
used to
is.
train, we used to do 10 sets. Now we need to do a little more because we keep wanting to hit that progressive overload.
Correct.
So we just kept adding and adding,
Yes.
and I think and that in the end, as you mentioned, it just felt like we have to go through it. We have this big program and we have to get through it,
Yes.
and then it was just too much that we
It's
just felt
true.
like we had to chip away. It felt like a CrossFit workout sometimes.
Yeah, that you
Yeah,
just want to chip away the rounds and
yeah,
sits and stuff like this. Yes, definitely. Like I have moved from like I have pretty much slashed my sets in half. Like
yeah,
I used to do 23, 4, 5, 6, 8, like basically like a mid 20s at least sets
yeah,
per session. Now I'm doing 12 sets. And again, depends. Of course, smaller muscle groups get a little more sets,
yeah.
like shoulders get a little more sets. But like
Arms
yesterday, yeah, yesterday I trained, was it yesterday? Oh, it wasn't yesterday. On
2 days
Friday.
ago.
Yes, on Friday I trained a essentially chest, back, and legs, both
Yeah.
quads and hamstrings. So all the big muscle groups. And I literally did two sets of hamstrings, two sets of quads,
Mm-hmm.
um, one set of chest, and two sets of back.
Yeah. No glutes that day.
No glutes that day.
No.
And I was beaten up. Oh my God. Yesterday I decided not to train because my back was too dead.
Yeah.
I did two sets of back. Two sets of back.
Yeah. And that was your flexion roll, right?
This flexion row is just
Do you want to pull up a video and you can talk about how it feels?
no.
No, it will bring you back in the pain
Yes,
cave.
exactly, in the pain cave. This
Okay.
is this is like one of those exercises that, it's so light and you do it, but
Mm-hmm.
because the range of motion is so insane, and we don't really ever do that type of exercise. And then if you think about it, why we don't do it, there's like no good answer. Like, why would you reduce the range of motion for this? Is it unsafe? No, it's not. But it's
Yeah.
like so tough that, you do it, and then you do 5 reps and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
can do this until tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you do 5 more reps and you're like,
Yeah.
and then the last 5 reps, because you definitely stay in the higher rep range. I think I do sets of like 17,
Yeah.
15 to 17,
That's the trick.
18.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the last 5 reps are just, and again, trying to keep good technique, the acid build. Oh my
Mm.
God. And the pump is like, my back is done.
But what's confusing me with the flexion row is that it's more for the erectors and not so much the pulling muscles, if
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. And I've never really targeted those erectors. So to me, it feels a little foreign, and I was borderline ready to say it feels unnecessary, but I know mine or nothing, so it's not unnecessary, but it's just never been a part of my training before. Yeah,
So erectors are super important. Like again, functionally, erectors are super important for, keeping you standing. They are a big part of the core essentially because it's what helps you maintain, spinal erection
yeah,
essentially and
stability.
stability.
Yeah,
Yes, so it's super important for any time when you're, even when you're upright, like just for the whole fact that you don't kind of
collapse.
collapse and fall down. This is your core, your obliques, and your erectors at back. I call them also the fillet because on animals, this is the fillet. And they're super 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 important. They go all the way back from your, from the tip of your neck all the way down to your pelvis. So um, pretty kind of large muscle,
Crucial.
yeah,
Yeah.
large muscle group. And like in terms of bodybuilding, I have to say that I think the erectors really are quite crucial to get that thick look from the side.
On the side. Yeah. Yes, I see that point. At least
Yeah.
on the middle back, right?
Yeah, or like on a full like back, like on a kind of back display.
Mm.
I think they are again, you want lats to have width and to look wide and to the side, but I'm sitting there thinking what gives thickness on the back. And we've talked a little bit about it, like a lot of guys and especially when you look people on the front, which is totally the
Yeah.
it is a top, so to say, it is a top uh, direction in which you're looking at people, I think, on day-to-day basis. But like in
Yeah.
terms
Oh,
of body,
in the front.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, big chest, big shoulders, like or whatever, they will definitely make you look big. But I think
Mm.
within bodybuilding, kind of sense. We've been talking a lot about your physique and how to improve your physique, perhaps for
Yeah.
competition or something. And I think that your back is definitely your weak point.
Yes.
And I've been thinking a lot about it. It's not like you're narrow. It's not like you don't have enough lat spread
Like with.
or yeah, exactly enough width. Yes, we've been working a lot on your upper back for a little more definition, a little more thickness of
Mm.
all the small kind of muscles on the traps and
Yeah.
on the scapula. But I think erectors are like what makes the back look really thick.
Yeah.
Like because
Yeah.
if they are like really, how with me, like my back, like it almost makes a little ridge, and I'm
Mm.
sitting there thinking on a male physique that could look like two very very kind of
Yeah.
almost two thick pillars on the
Mind if
back.
I bring some up here so we can
Yeah,
take a look?
of
Yeah.
course. So, so I think it's quite kind of quite important um, to give like overall to give overall thickness.
Let's share the screen here.
Yes, maybe we need to make it a little larger, the individual picture.
Ah, a little larger, I guess.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is it's these here.
Yes, I think. I mean, of course, they do go under the kind of the traps and the scapular muscles, but
Hmm.
look, it really ties up the back and
Yeah,
it just gives thickness, I think.
I've seen
Can we see
some.
something from the side, like a pose from the side?
Yes.
Like the side pose, not necessarily side chest, but like
Mhm.
so yeah, and these flexion rows are absolutely killing me.
Yeah. Taking
For
the.
me, it hits all over the back. Again, I don't really think that men's physique is a prime example of this
Oh, I
because
just.
I know that they definitely work a lot on the kind of the width, and I know that men's physique aesthetic is generally super super narrow taper. Therefore, I don't really think that they would work too much to be thick. Like I think for
Oh,
them
look at
is
this guy.
yeah, I actually. feel like he looks really strange.
Yeah,
Like I actually feel like his symmetry is very, like his shoulders are huge and his lats are not that big. Taper is good,
tiny waist.
tiny waist, but do you know what I mean? Like it's like it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you look at him from the like the how do you call this, like up, and again it's unfair to say because this is the Olympia and these are
Yeah,
the best guys, but I'm just saying that the waist is tiny, and then the back and the shoulders are so thick. Again, I know this is desirable for the category, but
Mhm.
to me it seems like
Out of proportion.
unbalanced, out of proportion. And again, when you add to the fact that they literally have no legs, to me, this is very, I have to say, this is my least favorite
Category.
category. It's just to me, it's a lopsided physique, and I do not enjoy. And again, the top guys also train legs and everything, but it's a lopsided physique that doesn't give me
A lot.
bodybuild. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, it doesn't. Not for me. Not for me. And
No.
yes, they look great and everything. And I know this is supposed to be like the soft kind of look, the more normal look, the more.
Beach. I think it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know they're
the
trying to
desired
sell it to
beach.
us like beach. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. As you telling me that wellness is the category for like where they're not too
Yeah.
ripped and so on. And then you see the pro wellness, IFBB pro
Uh,
wellness, and they are shredded to bits. Like they're so lean.
yeah, maybe that's a topic for a future podcast where we talk about the divisions and the expectations. Like,
Yeah.
for example, you and me have talked a lot about the femininity part of the female bodybuilding. Like,
Yes.
how is that even judged, so to say? Like,
Yes.
why should a panel of judges determine if you look feminine or not?
Yes.
Like, yeah. But I think we should have that on
Yeah.
another episode. That would be great.
Yeah. I do think. Yeah. Yes. I do think that the whole paradigm has to shift from, you know, as, again, we're judging aesthetics of the body and not
Mhm.
femininity,
Yeah,
and I think that pushes further into. But again, I get it. I get why it is there because women are just so jacked that the general population will go up. They
yeah,
look like men because they are so ripped and whatever. And now imagine them having short hair and no makeup. Whoa,
yeah. That is true.
they're gonna look like dudes. But I also think that as an athlete, um, like I wouldn't. Again, I'm not an athlete, but um, like I think I don't agree to be judged on my femininity. Again, I want to be judged by my bodybuilding capabilities, and I
Yeah,
don't think that femininity is anything to do with it.
exactly. And if there's a judge thinking that femininity is only long hair, but you prefer your hair like
Yeah.
this, for example,
Yeah,
yeah,
or maybe big boobs, but again, when you are under 10% body fat as a female, like say goodbye to your
there's
tits.
nothing
So,
natural left to be
yes,
honest. Yeah,
exactly. You're such a low percent body fat, and if you're a little older in terms of like you're already lost a lot of your boobs, like come on.
yeah,
Anyway, but again, I don't want to talk too much about standards, but yeah, coming back to the I think erectors give a lot of thickness to the back and like a lot of volume from the side,
yeah,
and again, as we talked about, if you have like guys with like huge chest and huge pecs, and then they're like really flat on the back.
yeah. Turn off.
Yeah. No, it's not a turn off. Again, it is still a very admirable physique, but again, if you do want to go there and be really competitive, like you have to really look at your physique all around,
Yeah,
and you have to really zoom into things. So, um, like I do think that you should include some of that.
yeah,
With me, it's just these flexion rows. Hell, man! Oh my
mm,
god, it's so, and I do it with like a 15-kilo bar.
yeah. There's not much to be done.
Oh
Uh,
no, no,
but
no, no,
how
no.
many reps did you do again?
17.
17.
And normally, like if I think last
Okay.
summer I was doing barbell rows, like our typical bend over barbell rows with
Yes.
like 45 kilos or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're talking 30% of that weight,
has been chopped off.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Which I really like because again, as we said, when you and I'm starting to really, really buy into the Dr. Mike's idea. And I don't know if this is a term that he developed himself, but I'm like really falling in love with it. He calls it a stimuli to fatigue ratio.
Say that again.
Stimuli
Yeah.
to fatigue
Yeah.
ratio,
Okay.
meaning that you want to select exercises that give you the highest amount of stimuli
Yeah.
for the least amount of fatigue
Okay. I see that. That makes
very
sense.
often. So that
Yeah.
way you don't get beaten up throughout your session or day to day within your program, but you still get like a top quality stimuli for the targeted muscle group.
But wouldn't you say this one fatigues you a lot, since it really wrecks
It
the
does.
stabilizers and
It does.
everything?
It
Yeah.
does. It does.
At least the upper body
Yes, it
works.
does. But it doesn't.
But it might also hit you in the way you need.
Yes, but I
Yeah.
think it's because it's the back muscles and it just goes all through the back. But again, it's not. It's just acidy and it's tough, as I said.
Mm.
But then it's okay. So it's not like it wrecks you for the session in that sense. But yeah, I love it. My sessions are shorter than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Um, we're done in 45 minutes, which for me it's like a great moment to basically kind of convince myself to go to the gym because it doesn't feel like, oh, I need to, oh my god, it's like 4 o'clock and then I'm gonna be to the gym at like 4:30 and then I'm gonna be training till like 6:30, quarter to seven, and then by the
Yeah.
time, and it just feels like such a quest.
Yeah.
Um,
An endeavor.
an endeavor, and
Yeah.
now we warm up. I warm up with the exercise that I'm going to start with. And yeah, and then it's just,
Yeah. Gets going.
yes,
It's all structured and you know what to do and what's expected, and
exactly,
that's what I really like as well.
exactly. And then it's like done really really fast, and then I feel like, which for me is very important. I'm very, um I would say I'm a very kind of productivity obsessed person.
Yeah.
So I like the gym to be one of the things that I get done during the day, and
Yeah.
like one of the achievements, or like the things that I managed to accomplish during the day. And
Yeah.
it just, before, it felt probably it was such a
Big chunk of the
big
day.
chunk of the day,
Yeah.
while now it's just one of the things. And I like this because it just feels like I go, I get in, I get an amazing workout, I get an amazing pump, and then I
Hmm.
can pick up my shit and fuck off and
Indeed.
then get on with my day, or just do different things throughout the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, super. I'm super stoked. I like it very much. I want to see how the app will progress me, because I think, in difference to you, I've been getting amazing pumps of like really low volume, and the app has not yet really increased my volume yet.
Okay.
So
It have for me.
um,
Yeah.
only one exercise. Funny enough for me, only
Yeah.
one exercise, and I'm curious to see how it's
Mm.
going to progress, because for most exercises, except probably glutes and triceps, where I told you I'm having a little issues of like getting the mind muscle connection, so
Mhm.
I need a little more volume to get a good pump.
Yeah.
But it's getting better and better, meaning I'm getting better and better pump from the same volume,
Yeah.
because I'm so focused on technique and I kind of really executing it at the right place. And I think now the focus of performing the sets is completely different. Now
Yeah.
it's more about intensity and good technique rather than hitting certain numbers and progressing every week.
Yeah.
And just, as we said, like, just feel like you have to chip off for the program and the training. Now it's more like,
A little
hey,
smaller. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
I have like 3 sets.
Hmm.
I better get the best
Exactly.
out of it. So
There's no redos, so to say.
yes,
And
exactly.
other presets
Yeah,
afterwards where you can
exactly.
rectify your,
Yes.
yeah,
Cool.
will fly.
Yeah.
I agree. Very nice. I feel the same because if I see I only have two sets of triceps, well, I better make those two sets of triceps worth it.
Yes, exactly. And you really, really work, and yeah,
Yeah,
you better work.
exactly. I think,
Coaches.
yes. And I see we have another viewer. Welcome.
Oh,
We're just,
welcome.
welcome. A little song.
Yes, welcome.
We're just gonna move on to our next agenda point, which is what we
A gender?
agenda.
What
Agenda.
is a gender?
Agenda.
Ah, a little Terry Pratchett joke. If you
Oh,
know, you know.
I haven't heard it. No. Tell us.
It is from the University of Magic in
Is
the
that a
Terry
book?
Pratchett universe.
Ah,
I'm not quite sure which book it was, but it was, yeah, they were basically like a bunch of wizards sitting there, and and the guy walks in and says, "The agenda for today." And then the old wizards, not hearing very well because they're a little
yeah.
deaf, they're so old, they go like, "Agender?
Mhm.
What is this agender?" And the wizard was like, it's a little tough to explain, but maybe another time. I think it
Yeah.
was something like this. So, agenda, agender.
So yeah.
Oh, just Terry Pratchett geekness.
Mm.
It's whole Wikipedia of. Oh, one more viewer. Welcome.
Hey, B Mel.
Hello.
Nice to hear from you.
But coaches,
Yes.
I am ready to get down and dirty with this because
The coaching business.
oh my god, this grinds my gear.
Yeah.
We are very well. I'm about to really, really kind of, kind of get going because, oh my God, like poorly performed coaching services really grinds my gear,
Okay.
and it's just I've been holding this in for a while, and I want
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about it. Basically, I'm about to hate on a lot of online coaches or like training coaches. And I'm happy to name names. Not that anybody will know them, but like
Yeah.
I'm ready to drop a lot of hate and criticism.
Yeah.
But
Very nice. I think also in Denmark there have been a lot of fuss and a lot of media attention around online coaching, especially when it was brought to light that a lot of them just used recycle programs and
absolutely.
with the press of a button they made a personalized workout program or food plan for their
Yes.
clients. And also a lot of facts about clients thinking they ride with their coach, which might be a celebrity coach,
Yes.
but it's actually the coach's team that they are
Or an
consulting with.
assistant sitting somewhere in the Philippines or whatever, being
Exactly.
paid like $200 a month,
Yeah,
and the coach is charging like a 500 euros a month for
exactly.
just a training program and
Yeah.
a off the shelf meal plan.
And I think some of them had a couple of hundred clients, maybe 300, some
Yeah,
of them, and if they all get charged a
let's say
substantial amount,
500 euros per month.
yeah,
It's a lot of money.
it is. It adds up. Um,
Definitely.
and I think there's like two camps because there are the celebrity coaches who do it for the money's sake.
Yes.
Everybody kind of do, but they are different philosophies. We don't as much mingle or interact with the celebrity coaches, but the coaches that we see, at least what I'm thinking is that they are more focused on, at least from their own perspective, more quality, more one-to-ones. They don't have a lot of clients. They have the clients they can handle themselves, so it's more personal. And maybe some of them don't even do online coaching.
Yes.
They do require in person.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about those that are a little more close.
Yeah, that maybe don't have the clients in hundreds, but
Exactly.
they maybe have couple of like maybe 20 or whatever it is,
Yeah,
or
hard
whatever
to guess
they can,
actually.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, to maintain. But still, and I'm going to drop a lot of hate on them because I do think they do it wrong. I don't like it. Like,
Yeah. But let's talk about what they do. At
yeah,
least what we see
one
from
of
our
the things
perspective.
that like really triggered me and kind of brought this topic to life was the fact that we definitely know a bunch of coaches from the gym where we train, and they even have a podcast. They have a brand of apparel and blah blah blah. They're really trying to kind of play also the influencer game. They're sitting there talking about how educated they are, how they constantly keep educating themselves, how they're evidence-based training, how they're very scientific, how whatever. And then you see their clients, and they have this poor technique, and they do like the stupidest, like the stupidest shit
Okay.
ever.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about mid-range partials. What is this?
Yeah.
Just to push weight. There is like terrible technique. they allow their clients who allegedly want to be athletes and want to be um,
Put on stage.
exactly put on a stage to sit there and do like train within the range of 6 reps, which while good rep range for building strength, it is definitely on the lower, and if not to say the minimum range of like reps per set to actually give you true hypertrophy, hypertrophic stimuli, promoting hypertrophy. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. They let their clients do whatever kind of nonsense they do, and then they like proudly repost it and go like, "Oh, look at my client! Look at my client!" I'm like, "What the fuck am I supposed to look at your client at?
Yeah, because one thing is that,
What is this?"
yeah, one thing is we see it in the gym, and that's like, okay, maybe the athlete has misunderstood something or decided
Exactly.
to
You
go.
cannot keep the coach responsible for the fact that the coach is not there and the athlete decides to do stupid shit.
Yeah. So either that we could think that the athlete have gone rogue, just
Yeah,
think, oh well,
exactly.
I'm not gonna do those 12 kilo dumbbell curls today. I'm gonna do the 20 kilos because I feel like it. But yes, then as you say, the coach also chooses to repost the the, the stories or posts that the athlete makes, and it's great technique.
Yes.
And it kind of puts a quality stamp on the, or at least acknowledges the technique. It's like, okay, yes, this is good enough for me
Yes, and you're
to.
like, look at my client, and it's like, what are we supposed to look at?
Yeah, because it ripples, because then the other clients of this coach and whoever follows the coach thinks, oh, this is great, I should do the same.
Yes, and it's nonsense.
Yeah.
And again, what really triggered the whole this whole thing is like I personally like texted one of the coaches and I asked the following question. I responded to one of the shared stories saying, um, "This is literally the worst range of motion, which is like mid middle partials in the middle. It's not that the stretch is not as the contracted, it's not at the stretched position, it's just in the middle partials." And I wrote, "This is literally the worst range of motion of like middle partials.
Yeah.
You say that you are an evidence-based coach and you let your customers train like this, question mark." Saw it, never responded.
Yeah.
Saw his business partner and he was looking at me like
Mm.
like he has to hide himself or his customer from
Yeah.
me or something like this, and just kept kind of glancing at me at the gym. It's like I'm gonna
He
put
was
him on a
spooked.
stake, like put him on a stake or something. And I'm like, come on. You know what frustrates me? Like when people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
Mm.
So you say you're an evidence-based coach, but then you let your customers do that. So what are they paying for?
Yeah.
Now my question is, what do they pay for? And do you know what I think they pay for? And I'm gonna be like a little judgmental
Tell
bitch,
me.
but like I think they're paying for what most Danes want to do.
Comfort.
With comfort, exactly.
Mm.
comfort and kiss on the head and on the forehead and a pat on the back saying, "You're
Good
doing
job.
good job, hugs, hygge,
Mhm. Yeah.
exactly, hygge, warm beverages and nice and achieving our dreams and living our best life." No, bitch.
Mm. No.
Honestly, I don't think you're gonna get much hygge if you train
With
with
you?
me. Yes, yes.
Not time for Higa.
No, with that kind of technique.
No. No, there won't be
No, with
Higa.
that kind of technique, you're gonna get much hygge. So
There'll be too many instructions to talk over. There won't be time for Higa.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and it just really frustrates me that people don't address this.
Yeah.
And again, they don't stand up for this. So then my question is, what are those people paying you for? What are they paying you for?
Yeah.
You know,
Good question, because I
because
would assume that they would correct those things.
all of those
Especially many of the athletes, they run around with a tripod, they film everything, they probably send it to their coaches, I would assume.
exactly.
So these things should be ironed out pretty fast, but
And again, my
yeah,
point is that technique and proper form is such an important part for achieving what you want to achieve. It's so
yeah,
important
it's
for
the end phase.
longevity, for for health, for kind of protecting yourself from injury, from longevity of lifting, and also for results. And even turn around and say that you don't give a flying fuck about your health. You go like, fuck that shit. I'm 20. I have a lot of health. You know, and my my health bar is full. Um,
Of course.
yes, I don't have to give a shit about it, but like at least the results, you know, because you will not be getting it. I think that nobody, even like partial range of motion,
Mm-hmm.
the people of the camp of partial range of motion, they still want to work on like the partial of where the, you know, the muscle is stretched. So they do stretch partials.
Yeah.
And then you have the
Thankful.
the camp which is losing a little bit of followership, I think, which is like you know, the full contraction kind of squeeze at the top kind of
Oh.
camp, and then you have the full ROM.
Yeah.
Um, but like I don't know if there's anybody that just says like let's do partial ROM in the middle. There's like
But
literally
heard about it now.
exactly.
But this guy was mostly he was doing what people do in bench pressing. It was a standing leg curl, and he wasn't stretching fully. So it was kind of like comparing to benching and not going fully down to the chest.
Or extending fully
He
to the
wasn't
top.
extending fully. No, probably not. It's pretty tough on the standing leg curl. Yeah, yeah. So it was middle range. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And again, you gotta address this as a coach, in my opinion. To me, if I'm gonna cook, if I'm gonna teach you how to cook an egg,
Yeah.
and you do the whole procedure wrong, or like you overheat the pan or not heat it or forget to put oil or whatever it is,
Hmm.
you're never going to get the final result that I'm trying to teach you. You can use the best egg, you can have the best pan and everything, but if your method
Yeah.
of preparing is wrong, then
Yeah.
you'll never get the achievement. And to me, the method or the recipe is like very fucking important.
Yeah.
Okay, if we use the metaphor that the recipe is your program, again, we don't know their program, but again, why are they allowing them to train in like such a low rep range almost all the time when we know from evidence-based training that you should have a variety of rep ranges,
Hmm.
but definitely not majority of your rep ranges. And again, if you're training for strength, that's different. But
Yeah.
for, you know, a hypertrophy, you want a variety of rep ranges, and you generally want to stay a little bit more of the five, five and more.
Yeah. I'm just also I agree, but I'm
Like seeing people
curious.
doing heavy, and it's because of the ego, because they just
Probably,
want to lift heavy.
but I'm just curious. What is the reasoning you think behind, or what we think? What was the reasoning behind the coach's decision to let the athletes do this? Because, as you mentioned, we're pretty certain that lowering rep ranges is great for hypertrophy, but still we see a lot of people doing below 8 or 6 to 10 all the time, and they
Why the coaches do it or why the athletes do
why
it?
the coaches would allow it is it because they're too
Honestly,
nice?
honestly,
Yeah.
because I don't think that they're prepared to actually take the conversation with their athlete,
Hmm.
because they just don't want the bother. They don't want to, they don't want the conflict. And again, here we're hitting again on the Danishness
Yeah.
of it all. I think is that people just don't want to have to take the conflict with their athlete and turn around and say, hey, listen, I know you've been doing this for a few years, but you really do it wrong. So you have to stop doing this. Yeah, but I really want to move a lot of weight. And you go like, but it's not about moving a
Hmm.
lot of weight. Yeah, but I really want to be very strong. And you go like, it's cool that you want to be strong, but do you want to go to a powerlifting meet and like kill it? Or do you want to step on stage and be the biggest, swellest, most
Yeah.
shredded motherfucker on the stage?
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, and you could do both. But again, if you want to do really well one or the other, you have to kind of move a little bit to one or another
Yeah.
side.
You have to prioritize.
Exactly, you have to prioritize. And again, if you don't care and if you just want to train just for health, then yeah, do that for sure. But a lot of those people want to step on stage and they want to do well on stage. So again, what do you want to do? And I think the coaches don't want to take this conversation and they want to turn around and say, hey, I saw you again
Yeah.
doing the 6 reps with like
What's
and they
going
go like,
on?
"Why are you doing this?" And you go, "So blah, blah, blah," some stupid excuse, and you go and you have to go like, "Well, we have to. We talked about it before, and we're gonna talk about it again, and I'm gonna bring it up
Yeah.
every time. And if you don't like my coaching, well, you know what? You can go and not get results with another coach
Yeah.
because I like to think that you pay me to get results." And this is
Yeah.
not how you're going to get results. So that's why it's my job and my responsibility to address it. And I think that a lot of those coaches are just, you
Mm.
call it too nice. I call it unprofessional enough to actually take this very tough conversation with their clients.
Yeah. But now we assume that it's the athlete that's going rogue. But what if it's in collaboration between the coach and the athletes? Like, but I just can't see any reason why they will prioritize these kind of reps or this kind of rep scheme. But I don't know if it's to keep strength going into your cuts and trying to maintain the muscle mass you have. I'm not sure how much this.
Can you paint that picture for me, please?
Because I think the athletes that we are watching are going into the prep phase for their competition. And how much would their training change going into a prep phase? I would assume they would maybe train the same, but not expect the same growth in numbers, and not necessarily change their training to be more heavy or
But
shorter
when
range
you
of
are
motion to really try and keep your strength.
exactly, but then my point is that
Yeah,
staying in a lower rep range, your training will be hard because you
yeah,
are
it will be
closer to
heavy.
your. It's going to be heavy and it's going
Yeah,
to be hard in that sense because you are staying closer to your one rep max
yeah,
because you are trying to push an extra rep
you
when
are.
meaning that if you think about it, in order to keep progressing also or maintaining or like really squeeze the most out of your muscle,
Mhm.
moving from 5 reps to 6 reps, this is like 20% increase in
Yes, in volume. Yeah,
volume
it will be.
for the set.
Yeah,
Going from 4 reps to 5 reps is 25%.
yeah,
Going from 3 reps to 4, it's 30%
yeah,
increase. And that's a lot. Going from 10 to 11 reps is 10%.
yeah. True. It's much easier.
Yes, I'm not saying that you should only increase in 1 rep. Again, if you do feel that you're on a on a ascend and you're coming up, but again, this is a different point. To me, it makes no bloody sense
Mm.
whatsoever that the coaches are getting them to do that. It doesn't make sense. Why would you exhaust your athlete doing heavy sets? Why, when they're training for hypertrophy? Why would you do that? Why would you, or that absolute nonsense can you explain the setup and I'll make another coffee?
Setup of
Of the banded leg extension.
yes,
Oh my god, this is like the dumbest shit in the world.
do that, and meanwhile
I'm gonna go get some coffee.
Mhm. Ah, so
Smile, you're on TV.
small arm on TV. Hey, mom. So what we were discussing and what Laura was mentioning is that we've seen some things we don't understand. Maybe we're the one in fault, but I doubt it. I'm not sure. But let me throw it up in the screen here. Basically, I've seen people doing banded leg extensions, as if we've seen, and as you might know, leg extensions are already pretty tough at the top. So what people are doing is they do like this, but as you can see, this guy does not have any, it's not a machine, it's basically on a bench. So to get resistance into the movement, he would have to use a band. But why would you use a band on a proper leg extension like a machine and already make the most concentric part of the movement even harder? To me, it makes no sense because the hardest part of the movement is where you would need the help, and not necessarily in the squeeze, but in the yeah, in the squeeze. That's where you want the increased resistance. That's what I'm trying to say. Not at the squeeze, at the stretch is where you want the increased resistance, and then you want it to get easier once you push. So, and the thing is, we've seen this from free. different people all under the same coach. So it's like it's not a one thing. It's not to cater towards some weakness or something. It's basically what this coach has been putting into their client's program. And we don't understand it. Other people we have talked to it about, doesn't understand it. So if you guys out there know what's going on, you can let us know, but because and enlighten us because we have no idea.
So it's tough. This is my theory. So it's tough because
Yes.
I think people associate difficult with results and soreness with results.
Yeah. Just going from images to the search on Google here, there's like zero people talking about it, so I'm not sure where they got this from, except for this guy just showing a tutorial. But from Testo Nation. Hmm. So very weird to me. Yeah. Sorry. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh. Just wait a minute or two, and then Laura will be back, and we will carry on. Of course. Mhm. Here we go. Some money.
Mm.
You got coffee?
That's salami stick.
Salami stick.
Salami with coffee. Having that.
Oh, it's good.
Mm. Salty stuff. People think like coffee and cake, but coffee and salty things are really great combo.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome back. I just talked a little bit about banded leg extensions and why it makes no sense.
Because it's so stupid.
Yeah, I think it's against every principle that at least we work with. So, and we saw, I remember seeing three different people doing it,
Yeah.
but all with the same coach.
Mm-hmm.
So that would explain that part, why they did it. But we don't understand why.
Mm-hmm. It is so stupid.
Well, maybe we should start and ask so we don't go and theorize.
Well, if the motherfucker actually responds to me,
Yeah,
I would ask. But
yeah,
I also have a feeling that a lot of them don't want to be challenged
yeah.
because they might have to think for themselves.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
remember his business partner making an Instagram story once saying that he thinks it's so weird that people he have chatted with on social media doesn't want to chat in real life, or at least just say, "Hey, what's up?" Like acknowledge that we do know each other, and then they don't really go the full circle here, and also want to respond to when people reach out to them.
Why they don't reach out to people? Like
Yeah. Oh,
I have chatted with one of them. Actually the one that was giving me very scary looks, but like why doesn't he say hey or give me a nod? He knows who I am. I mean, most of the
maybe we
time when
don't.
I see him, he's training or he's having a client. So what am I supposed to go and like he's training his client and I'm like, hello, I chatted with you and I asked you some uncomfortable questions about your practices with your clients. Would you care to comment? Are you
Yeah, to
just
come.
let a yawn out?
No,
Like you're sitting there.
it's almost joking me. Yeah, almost gonna breathe. Didn't look like that.
Oh my god.
Cooking smoothie for you.
Smoothie for me?
Yes.
Can you tell what coffee it is?
Hot chocolate. Milk chocolate?
Frosted hazelnut.
Ah, maybe I
Stop
confused.
poking me. Why you keep poking me?
Maybe I confused the hazelnut with Nutella, and I thought it was chocolate.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
a good. That's a
yeah.
good
Not
answer.
as trick. It's
Yes,
actually,
exactly.
yeah,
That is true. That is true. But yeah, it just really makes me kind of, yeah, it really grinds my gears, this kind of stuff.
yeah.
Again,
It's
to me, this is so basic. If I was to be somebody's coach, and again, I wouldn't really go as far as saying that I'm coaching somebody, but we started having some conversations with
hmm
a friend of ours who's very experienced, considering going on stage. I think even this year, he's in great shape,
one
and
year.
yes, but he definitely has some like ironing out of things to do in his physique, like
Uh-huh.
his rear delt and his upper back, similar to you, in order to really, I think, complete and round out his physique very nicely.
The full package, so to say.
Yes, and again, I have to say that this is all the type of conversations um,
Yeah,
we have been having, which is like, that's how you should train. If they're not sore, train them again. If you're not whatever, train them again. And
yeah,
he's like, oh, but I don't have time. And I'm like, if you want to grow, you got to prioritize it,
yeah,
bruh. So, you know, and I'm taking, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just felt like I'm taking the whole conversation, the tough conversation, such as that's how you should do.
yeah.
I know you love your volume. I'm gonna do 5 sets, and then I'm sore for 3 days. Then don't do 5 sets. Let the yawn out.
I just the end.
And we're taking like this really tough conversations
Yeah.
with him. And then I just thought about it, about those coaches, and I'm like, guys, you are actually paid for this.
Yes.
Isn't it your responsibility to me? Proper form and proper execution of the whatever you've done is essential. It's essential for results. And I will be sitting there thinking that if people come to me because they want to step on stage, they definitely want. I mean, even the people that just want to drop a couple of pounds or like kilograms after a pregnancy, or like just drop a couple of kilos and tighten up the beer belly or whatever it is,
Huh?
they also want results.
They do.
And I'm like, what do people pay you for? What do you charge for? And it just feels so scammy for me.
Yeah. That they don't point it out and really correct
Yes,
their
to me
athletes.
the execution of this is like, it's not just the program, it is the execution of it. And this is not like you buy a program from the internet and you download it, you pay $20, you download it, and you're done.
Exactly.
This is like personal coaching.
This is one to
Personal
one.
coaching, exactly. You get in-person sessions with your coach. You definitely get checkups, whatever. And what do they talk about? This is what I'm curious. And again, maybe we would have had an insight into it if they bothered to respond when they
Yeah.
were asked. So
No comments.
yeah, just and again, I don't want to press because I'm already considered pretty mean, but maybe I should ask some questions.
Maybe we can consider it. Walking up to him next time. Maybe we'll see him today if we end up going.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah. So you would expect if you had a coach, you would expect him to point this out and definitely say, "Hey, girlfriend, we talked about this before. You should not go ego lifting. Our goal is straight up hypertrophy. We want you to be the biggest and leanest and meanest on stage,
Yes,
and this is not the way to go."
yes. And I'll be like, this
Yeah.
is me giving a stupid, or like them giving a stupid experience of like,
Yeah.
because I've always done it like this, or because it's very important for me to lift heavy and whatever.
Yeah.
And you go like, you know what? If you just want to pump your ego, do you know what's gonna deflate it very real fast?
Mhm.
The judge's feedback on stage.
Yeah.
That would deflate.
Yeah.
Because nobody will play your half-assed middle partials on stage. Nobody will play that.
No.
Nobody will clap their hands.
No. And as I've heard on, not heard, but read on the line, is that bodybuilding is actually not that interesting to watch because it's just the same over and over again. doing it for a long time, being consistent, and
What do you mean? Like watching competition or?
now just like I'm just saying, for example, an influencer.
Uh-huh.
Not really many post just them working out because it's not that interesting,
Yes.
and it isn't because it's just hard work and it's continuous hard work and compounding and
Yes.
keep doing it.
Or
So
you could
maybe
basically
people,
just film like 5 reels of your 5 sessions and then 5 more reels of what you cook, which is pretty much the same shit. And that's
yeah,
your whole social media presence.
it would be. And then maybe people want to shake it up a little bit and make it cool for the gram. And
I think it's about a lot about being cool for the gram.
yeah, and it's weird to me because I never have had the need to throw heavy weights around. Of course, not that I've thrown heavy weight. I wouldn't say I'm very strong.
Oh, I,
Uh,
I beg your pardon.
yeah, but compared to strong people, I'm not that strong.
But again, if you start comparing yourself to
Yeah,
really strong people,
yeah,
yes, is any of us. I mean, knowing that they're like humans who bench like 200 plus kilograms,
yeah.
like, is any of us actually strong?
Mm, true.
People squatting 400 kilograms,
Yeah.
are we actually strong?
But I think the only thing I've actually only went for PRs in have maybe been a bench. Yes, definitely a bench. Deadlift.
Squat,
And because of CrossFit, it's been deadlifting,
squat, yeah,
squat, and also cleans. Could also say snatch,
snatch
but
as
that's
well,
more
yeah.
technique limiting than it was
Strength
strength.
limiting,
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
the same with clean. I think I pushed it pretty hard in clean, but yes, um,
I think the jerk was more technique limiting for you.
yeah, that jerked me not very nicely off.
No, no.
So, so to me, it's very foreign to do this, like put on more weight and then see what you can do, and maybe only get 3 or 4, where the first one is perfect and the last 4 are actually just struggling. Like I would lose all feeling with it, and to me, it makes no sense. But
Everything.
we see it over and over again, so I think it's very common for people to wanting to lift a lot of weight, and maybe the coach just says,
Keep
"Do it if
going,
it
keep
makes you
going,
happy."
keep
Yeah.
going, yes.
Hopefully, you won't get an injury, so you can still pay me next month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So that's more like the training part of coaching, where you would, and I would also expect my coach, if I had one, to be like, hey, well, this is not what we're talking about. You should be more hypertrophy focused.
But
And
this is like I know we're adults and like when we were kids we couldn't guess it, but now as an adult,
hmm
going back to your childhood, do you want a parent that only tells you good job, you're the best, you're
hmm
whatever, or do you want a parent that also addresses stuff such as, hey, listen,
yeah,
you should be more like this and more like that?
yeah, it will really benefit you
There,
in the end.
exactly. Or do you want just a parent that never tells you anything bad and is just sitting there putting you in a pedestal as a kid and saying, you're doing great,
Mm.
good job? Would you like a parent like this?
No,
No.
of course not.
So then I'm sitting there thinking, like, what kind of a complex are you,
Yeah,
working through if you all that you want from a coach is good job and pat on the back?
good question. I think it might be the symptom of young adults that's not really sure what they would like.
Yes, perhaps.
So,
Perhaps.
should we continue?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. I mean, I don't know. It's just to me, it's totally frustrating, and
I found it. Yeah,
I really, really want to, um, yes, I don't know how to address this. I'm almost,
yeah, because it's hard. I think for us to address it, or at least to understand it more, we have to speak more with people. And we're not that we're hermits. We kind of see ourselves as hermits, but we're not really true hermits, I think. But maybe we should just
talk
ask
to
more,
people.
talk more.
No.
Like if we see something and we know, like it's an athlete, like then go and ask, how does this work? Like, what does this promote? Is this more for strength, or because in my opinion, it looks more like strength to me, but I know you're going on stage, so what's the exact point of doing it like this?
And what do
Maybe,
you think we're gonna get out of it?
well, I know that some one of the coaches that we have been talking about has been very explicit, also on Instagram, saying that he teaches his clients what the purpose is of everything they do, exactly for the purpose of
Which one of them?
the one that responded to him, but didn't want to acknowledge you
Hmm.
in the gym after.
I think he was a little cautious. It was very funny because like he kept cueing his client, and it was like really funny, like
Yeah,
because he was like fat to his client, and I just looked like from underneath my eyebrows, and then he nervously looked at me,
yeah,
right back into his like a guilty kid back to his
okay,
client. Yeah, I'm like, was that really perfect? Your client is barely going to parallel,
yeah.
and maybe instead of you getting them to squat heavy, you should work on their ankle mobility so they can squat a little lower. But it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It looks great for the gram.
No, it doesn't.
Depends on the angle.
No, it doesn't. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Depends on the angle.
yeah.
Yes.
But he explicitly has said or stated on Instagram, I guess, that
Mm-hmm.
he teaches his clients what is the purpose of what they're doing and what does the exercises work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they get asked, then they shouldn't just say, I don't know. My
Mm.
coach does that for me. But they can actually explain
Mm.
if they have listened to him, I guess.
Yes, I guess
So,
there are many tiers of the nonsense.
but still, how can you train with a purpose and train with a specific purpose in mind if you don't know what the purpose is of the exercises you do? So in reality, I would assume that everybody has some kind of idea why they do what they do,
Definitely.
if they have a goal in mind or a purpose. Maybe that's our homework
What?
to investigate this.
Oh, I'm gonna be like the least favorite. Like, can you imagine going
Detective Pikachu.
in our little yes, Detective Pikachu,
Yeah.
going in our little influencer gym, and me going and saying like,
What's
"Why
this?
are you doing like this?" Hmm.
I
Oh,
think we,
you do mid range. Oh, you stack a lot of things on this to reduce the range of motion. Why is this so?
yes, I see that all the
Why
time.
is this so?
We
Why do you do this?
we have this actually, yeah, let's bring that one up
Why do
actually.
you do this?
We have this very delicious
We have become more and more boring and have absolutely lost all our live viewers
it's
because
fine.
we are more and more boring.
It's fine. Oh, we have this goddess of a machine in our local gym, and it's so nice.
Oh, it gives a great stretch. It's so nice.
It's very stretchy, but some reason people put okay, it's not exactly this one.
It's very similar.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah. But as we can see here, like this guy, he barely gets down to here. See, his
Yes,
chest
if
is
this
all
is
the
if
way down
exactly
here.
if this is a bar, the bar would not be touching his
Exactly,
chest.
and no one with their who think they have any kind of training experience would do this willingly in bench press with a barbell because it's so tactile, and you really know that okay, you have to get that barbell down to your chest.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, Cindy. Come on, train with Cindy.
Let's go, Cindy.
Yes, full extension on the top. A little better.
Well, if the machine allowed for it, I would definitely go lower
Yeah, and get
because
that really really good stretch and really feel your pec
yeah,
ripping off and pulling, and your minor will be stretched, and you know your major will be like really pulled. And what people do at our gym is like they actually stack plates to reduce their range of motion.
yeah, people put plates down here so that this arm can't go that far down, so it actually makes it even higher end up here maybe.
Yeah.
And it's so nice. Why would you miss out on the stretch? It feels so good.
It's like
It's
it's like it
frustrating.
really really promotes hypertrophy.
Yeah,
So why would you do
exactly.
this?
Yeah, and it's so nice. I don't get it.
Can you
So
imagine? I think I do worry I might get kicked out of the gym.
if you start poking around,
Yeah, but you know what's the great thing about it?
mm,
If we do this, they would never have a problem with getting machines because we would just approach something and people would just move to the other side of the gym.
Oh.
They'll be like, "Oh no, 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 they're gonna ask me some questions." Oh, is that obnoxious foreign lady that just asks the weirdest questions? I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just avoid me.
It reminds me of an old story of, well, not an old story, but me and one of my old buddies. We used to train at this gym in Aarhus,
Uh-huh.
me and Peter. And at some point, one of us found a post on bodybuilding.dk, which is an old legacy forum that
Yeah,
were very popular at some point.
yeah.
And it was a guy talking about the same gym we went to, so it was a little funny. And at the gym there are like different stations, and there were Eleiko stations, and you couldn't mix the barbells for some reason. They wanted the barbells to be the same place. And this guy he called himself the bar police because people didn't like him because he was always after people saying you
The
can't.
barbell, the barbell police.
They are the barbell police. You can't move the barbells. He kept saying to everybody, and it frustrated him. And he even voiced his opinions on this forum. Like now, I'm thinking of him because you mentioned that you're gonna be the technique police, or we're gonna be,
Yes.
or at least the
What do you do? What is
exact.
this?
What is the purpose? Interesting. Interesting.
Why do you do like this? Ah,
The
okay.
technique, not inquisitors. What is it called when you inquiry something? When you are an inquirer.
It's called inquisitive.
It's not the word I'm looking for. Okay.
Inquiry.
Mm,
It's called.
maybe I'm looking for the Babel, no, the technique investigators, but it doesn't sound as nice as I was looking for.
Yes, the barbell police. The barbell police sounds way
It
better.
flowed. It was actually in Danish. It sounds even better in Danish.
Do you think it will be more interesting if we actually approach people with cameras and we ask them on microphone to explain their technique?
Well, we do have some points on our side because they have filmed us without us saying yes.
That is true. That is true.
So we should be able to do the same.
Yes, no, but we just walk to them and say, "Can we ask you some questions about your technique? Can you
Exactly.
explain why you're doing this?"
Yeah. On the
Yeah, yeah. You bring the
the,
the big
the
microphone.
big mic. Yeah.
Yes. And he'll go like, "Can you explain?" I'm ready to do it, but I know
Yeah.
you will feel extremely uncomfortable because, after all, you are also Danish
No,
and
no, I think I could play Little Puppy.
a real puppy. I thought I'm gonna play a little puppy.
We do
You
it
look
both.
like you look like you really know what you're talking about, but I could be like, oh, I'm the sleeper, physique. So I could look
Uh,
into my big stuff and be like, what do you do? Why do you do it like this?
mm,
Oh, this is
yeah.
so interesting.
Think about it because in my mind, I'm more like curious and like open to new stuff and thinking, why are you doing this?
And me with my
Maybe I,
facial autism, I'll be like, why are you doing this? And then I'll be like,
no, you'll be like this watching from apart and they would see you and then you will go, what is this? And they
yeah,
will be like,
come on,
you
bitch.
saw
Like,
me, you saw me.
you know,
Yeah,
you know.
you know what went down.
Yeah, they go like with my facial autism.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
we're blabbing too much. I think we should wrap it up. And
yeah.
yes,
It was
but
fun
if
though.
anyone wants to challenge us into walking to people at the gym and asking them about their technique, maybe we can ask them to clean a little.
Clean a little what?
Clean? A clean? A clean?
Clean.
A clean?
Yeah, you clean.
A clean? Clean? A clean? Is this heavy? Is this? You.
Okay, wrap it off. Like and follow. Say your end note.
Um,
See you in a week.
cool.